Hello and welcome to the Grand Line Review, your source for everything One Piece. My name is Liam and today I learned that Triceratops can fly. Sort of. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've been lied to my whole life. And if you were unaware of this as well, then let me know by subscribing to the Grand Line Review, which will result in consistent injections of One Piece culture administered directly into your YouTube feed. I'll then go and add up the numbers and we'll figure this thing out. And today we are here to review chapter 1019, an installment that sounds every bit as insane in context as it does out. But regardless, the out of context summary is as follows. The space-time continuum is broken. Cyborgs with lasers now fight against dinosaurs. Whilst in the adjacent room, cyborg dinosaurs fight with lasers. Amongst all of this, fur-covered doctors are about to implement an experimental medication, whilst underwater, non-fur-covered doctors have prescribed the only true medication of meat. To top it all off, the rematch of the century is happening outside with round 2 of Kaido versus Kozuki Oden. The battle for Wano is on once again, except this time Oden has come equipped with a secret weapon, that weapon being breasts. 1019 was a pretty wild ride to say the least, but before I start anything, we need to say happy 24th birthday to One Piece. On this day 24 years ago, the very first chapter of the series was published, and the world of shonen manga, and let's just say the world in general, would be forever changed. Just as this bread here shortly will forever be changed into toast. Toast aside, at this point, I'm pretty sure that One Piece is actually older than more than 50% of the people watching this video, so let me know in the comments. Are you older than One Piece? Because I am. And there was a ton of stuff in Weekly Shonen Jump to celebrate this birthday, but I will get into all of the stuff afterwards because damn what a chapter, and I really don't see a better place to start than with Yamato. We finally have the long-awaited Devil Fruit reveal, and rather uncharacteristically from Oda, it is not a silhouette. We have a very clear view of what looks to be Yamato's hybrid Zoan form, but that was surprisingly unhelpful. How can I have a perfectly clear view of this fruit and still have no idea what it is? After conducting mild research, I would venture a guess at a Kirin, these sort of hooved mythological creatures of Chinese mythology. I said mythology twice. I'm not re-recording it. In any case, Kirin are sometimes depicted as sleek and slender, whilst at other times they appear to be the epitome of pure chonk. And according to Wikipedia, Kirin are said to appear with the imminent arrival or passing of a sage or illustrious ruler. So you know what? That's good enough for me. Yamato has appeared right at the moment of Luffy and or Momonosuke's ascension to vaguely define destiny, so it feels pretty perfect. F in the chat for all of the white tiger theories, you know, well, that's the danger of theories. Whatever the case, I think we can all agree that this is most likely a mythical Zoan, which is very exciting because they tend to possess all sorts of world-breaking special powers, but also Kaido heavily hints at it by complaining that it was an absolute pain to acquire this Devil Fruit to begin with, which actually leads to my favorite piece of dialogue in the chapter, where it's revealed that Yamato only ate the fruit out of sheer hunger, which makes Yamato, I think, the third person to have eaten a Devil Fruit out of pure hunger in the series, the first two being Luffy and Momonosuke. Actually, no, that's not true, because in the Ace novels, he and Masked Juice ate the Merimeri no Mi because they were doing a bit of the hunger as well. Oh, and also there's like all of the Smile users of Ibisu Town, but we're not going to count them because I don't want to. So discounting them, it is an interesting trend of Devil Fruit origins. Yamato is in very good company here, and I have to say that the evidence is really piling up in favor of Yamato joining the crew over Carrot. Hybrid Yamato kind of looks like Sulong Carrot. And you know, at this point it would probably just be redundant to continue with both of them aboard the ship, so look, it's not looking good for Carrot, but we'll see. This whole interaction was pretty great though, because it also provided an explanation as for how Yamato became so powerful, and that is by just repeatedly challenging and losing to Kaido, essentially making Yamato's entire life up until now one big training arc. I'm loving every second of this though, and there's this particular panel that really took my eye, the second last one of the chapter with Yamato standing off against Kaido. There's this beautiful contrast of the dark, detailed figure of Kaido juxtaposed against the bright, more simplistic and, well, pure figure of Yamato. It very effectively depicts the classic good versus evil struggle, almost entirely through texture. I love it. Yum! For anyone curious, today is mixed grain bread, and I'm still waiting on that Helga sponsorship. Moving to the real meat of the chapter though, the stuff that, Luffy wants crammed down his rubber throat, we have Franky versus Sasaki. This is every bit as bizarre as I expected it to be, however the source of the weirdness did not come from who I expected it to come from. What the fuck? In regards to the fight, however, I do love the various techniques on display, but I'm really hoping that this isn't the end of the matchup. It's very much visually depicted as potential match point for Franky, Franky because Sasaki has the classic white eyes in his final close-up, and also this is part of a beautiful 2-page semi-spread with Franky using the radical beam. Stunning artwork there. I love the framing, I love the lighting. It is such a satisfying action shot. Plus, this fight did do exactly the thing I wanted it to accomplish, which was to rip Franky out of General Franky and have him fight with his own body. And yes, it was only briefly, admittedly, but it was a pretty damn epic ending. I think that the standard Franky body makes a much more interesting art than General Franky, but if this is the end, I would still honestly be left a little bit disappointed by Sasaki, because right now he feels like a bit of a gimmick opponent, by which I mean we've only really seen one kind of attack from him, which is the spinny stuff, and I guess I just wanted to see a bit more variety from, you know, a Toby Roper member. I mean, I get it, he can spin very well even, but is that really all there is to Sasaki? Right now, Sasaki feels to me a bit like Jaya Bellamy, a guy who only had one attack, and when that attack was broken, there was no other substance to him. Now obviously there's much more to Franky vs Sasaki because this has been happening for a while off screen, but that final glorious Franky attack aside, I'm slightly underwhelmed. Although to be fair, I've been slightly underwhelmed by Sasaki's general existence ever since he was introduced, so look, it's not a big deal. Still, I probably shouldn't jump to conclusions yet because there's a chance that it might not be the end. I don't think it's a good chance, but I have to say it would be incredibly cool if from here Franky had to slug it out with Sasaki and have Franky really pushed in a way that we have never seen before. Oh, you know what? Sasaki's ability, it reminds me of, what's his name? Buffalo. That's a guy. Oh, and by the way, Sasaki, he can technically fly, right? So that makes him what, the 20th overall flying devil fruit user? So you know what? Let's do the list. Yeah, I love doing the list. In case you're unaware, Oda once made Pell make a bold statement in the Alabasta arc, claiming that there were only 5 devil fruits in the world that granted flight, which is one of the rare instances of inconsistency within One Piece because, look, let's just go ahead and count them. We have Mako, Kaido, Pell, King, Buffalo, the Bug Zoans, Caesar, as well as all of the propulsion Logias actually, potentially Lafitte. There's also the Tori Tori no Mi model Albatross consumed by Big News Morgans, although he cannot fly for whatever reason, so look, we'll let him off the hook there. And now Sasaki, who at the very least is acting thematically as he is a member of the Flying Six. None of the other Flying Six can actually fly, so good on Sasaki for that. But there you go, that is all 5 flying devil fruit users. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with the appropriately named General Franky on Reddit when he says that the 5 flying devil fruits is a plot hole. Meanwhile, incredibly minor detail approaching, but more praise for the way that Oda fluidly structures these chapters. It can often seem a bit like his scene choices are fairly random, but his storytelling in chapter 1019 is quite masterful. On the very first page, we have a bit of a catch-up of the Sanji gang on the performance floor, and Sanji himself has a nice line about Franky. Now, it's kind of weird hearing Sanji talk about Franky because they're like the 2 Straw Hats that almost never interact for, I don't know, whatever reason. But this simple statement from Sanji acts as a primer to the reader, very much consciously or even subconsciously preparing us for some sort of Franky focus later on. This section is even better than that though, because it ends on the doctors treating Zoro, about to inject him with the mysterious magical mink cure. But it's brilliant because this scene of doctors treating Zoro then transitions into the Heart Pirates treating Luffy aboard the Polar Tang. So nothing in this chapter is random, everything has a thread that connects to other parts of 1019, which is more often than not the case for most One Piece chapters. It's these small decisions and cohesive tissue that make One Piece such a satisfying experience to read on a weekly basis. And that sort of clear directorial structure is what a lot of shonen series lack, in my personal opinion. Having brought up Zoro though, it looks like he's about to spring back into action any moment, and that now begs the question of exactly what does he do from here? Exactly what does he do from here? He had a very clear purpose before, which was to defeat Kaido on the roof, and I do wonder if that's maybe going to change. Because the other Worst Generation members, they kind of got bored with the whole Kaido quest, and then got distracted doing all sorts of other things like fighting straw men and morbidly obese mothers. In terms of options for Zoro though, I only really see 2. One of which is that he does go straight back up to the roof and assist Yamato, and another is to stay on the performance floor and either team up with Sanji to beat Queen or even Mako to beat King. I'd prefer not though, because I think Sanji in particular really needs his moment of soloing Queen. That's really the thing though, there aren't actually all that many opponents left to beat on Onigashima. Jack has a date booked with the Minks, Queen is being kicked in the face by the son of his former colleague, King and Mako are having a bird off, and as for the Toby Ropo, they're all either currently defeated, defected, or taken. So who's left? Scratchman and Pooh, maybe? Like this raid it's going extraordinarily well. So I do feel like the most Zoro possible thing to do right now is to get healed and go back up to bash his head against the brick wall that is Kaido. I don't know, I mean, let me know what you think Zoro should be doing after all of this. I'm genuinely interested. Alright, we have a lot to cover this week that's not the actual chapter though, so much stuff to celebrate the 24th birthday of One Piece and the first thing is the cover of Weekly Shonen Jump. Out of context, this looks a bit weird because it's Luffy dressed like an astronaut, but this is actually part of a collaboration between One Piece and the International Space Station, which may very well be the most ambitious crossover of 2021 so far. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what this collaboration will consist of yet, but it looks like we are quite literally taking One Piece into space in order to also celebrate the 100th manga volume of the series. So from here on out, One Piece fans, just remember this. If any Naruto, Bleach, My Hero Academia, etc. stans ever try to clown on our goofy pirate comic, just remember that we literally went to effing space. This is not a contest, and that's primarily because the other series cannot compete. Meanwhile, as part of our birthday celebrations, One Piece was also given a color spread, and look, in all honesty, I do think it's kind of standard. On its own, it's a beautiful image and it's masterfully crafted, but compared to the body of work that is One Piece color spreads, like, I don't know, I feel like this one's it's a little bit forgettable. My favorite part of the spread is definitely Jinbei though. Seeing him in a color spread screwing around with the crew is still a pretty surreal experience. What I am much more excited about, however, is this One Piece Where's Wally crossover. This is absolutely ridiculous, but this is official Where's Wally media. Waldo, I suppose, if you're American, which many of you are. But this is the Onigashima edition of Where's Wallydo. And just be careful, because you would think that it takes no time at all to find Wally, but that is actually an imposter. But the best part about this is finding everyone else. If a character is on Onigashima right now, they are in this picture. Look, even Fortrix made the cut. And there are also some special guest appearances from characters who are not currently on Wano, like there's a big old San Juan wolf hiding over here. You can see Rob Lucci alongside CP0, and also Bella Hancock and Bartolomeo are fangirling together around here. And there are so many more. I can't point them all out because I'll be here all day and it will ruin the fun for all of you. And weirdly enough, that's not even all. There's also a new chapter of Shokugeki no Sanji out, which, if you're unaware, is a crossover where the mangaka of Food Wars is drawing an alternate One Piece universe focusing on Sanji as the protagonist. This is now the third chapter, although I have to say the only thing I actually remember from the second chapter is Zoro referring to his equipment as a, quote, big boy sword. And then Sanji proceeded to use Zoro's big boy sword to make salmon sashimi, which turned Nami into a mermaid princess of Shirahoshi proportions. It's a very fun series, and if you haven't already, you should definitely check it out. Just like you should definitely check out this next video, because it is about One Piece, and I know you like One Piece. Go on, treat yourself. There's always more to learn, discover, and experience with this series, so I look forward to seeing you there.